Well, that didn't work. Do you ever just have a curriculum that looks like it's going to be perfect and then it's not? So this is going to be pretty unscripted and maybe kind of chatty, but I really wanted to share about lightning literature and why it just didn't work out for either one of my kids. If you're new here, hi, my name is Cassie, and I'm a fifth-year homeschooling mom to two kiddos who are currently ages 8 and 11 years old, which puts them around 3rd and 5th grade. So we have been fairly content with the way we've been doing reading and language arts. But being the homeschool mom that I am, I had to go and change things up when things were fine. I'm sure nobody out there has ever done that. So part of the reason is that I kind of have a hard time with book discussions with my kids. So we can discuss books till we're blue in the face, but I really wanted to kind of target certain literary elements in our book discussions, and I'm not really good at like thinking of that stuff on the fly. I kind of like having something to guide me when we're discussing a book. Anyway, so that led me to lightning literature, and I'm looking at it thinking that the book selections are excellent and the kinds of books that we would pick up anyway and we enjoy reading anyway. I really liked how there were questions to prompt discussion on each day's reading assignment, and I really liked the idea of having a bigger book discussion at the end of the book. And I thought, well, the grammar might be interesting and it might, fill in some gaps or supplement what they're already learning with Michael Clay Thompson. So I thought we would just give it a shot. Like, I bought some of the books that we were missing. We had a few already because they're great books. And I thought we would just try it. But of course, I'm such an over planner that I planned out weeks and weeks without actually trying the curriculum. Don't do what I did. Anyway, so we got about 2 weeks in with my son, who's 8, and 3 weeks in with my daughter, the 11-year-old. And by the end of the first book for each of them, I realized that this wasn't really going to work. It wasn't really worth the effort it was taking. And I'll try to be succinct explaining why it didn't work. First of all, it's really time consuming. And I guess I wasn't expecting how time consuming it was going to be. So I'll just show you really quickly what is in the 5th grade student book. Okay, so there's a teacher book and then the student book. And this is mostly reading comprehension questions like this one. And don't mind her handwriting, it's really messy. But reading comprehension questions, and then some like reading passage or information to read about grammar concepts, and then a small assignment like this one to practice whatever grammar concept they're learning that day. So it seemed like something that could be done fairly independently. The only thing that I would really need to sit down with them on was some of the book discussions and definitely the writing part of it, the composition, but I'll get to that. Anyway, so I thought this would be something a little more independent, but I found that neither one of them was able to like take this and go and do it on their own with any quality. My daughter, well, neither one of them was reading through the information in the grammar practice, which I wasn't too concerned about, but I was like, dude, just like read it and then answer the questions. So I sat down and we were doing those together. I found that the grammar explanations were very wordy, which I guess was good that they were thorough, but it just took time to get through. So I thought, well, maybe we just won't do the grammar part of it. Maybe we'll just like skip those pages since we really like the other things we use for grammar. So that leaves us with the reading and the reading questions and the book discussions, and the writing component, the composition part of it. So the reading part of it, I mean, that part is good. The reading assignments for each day were an appropriate length. It was broken up very well. The questions, however, I found that pretty much all the questions stuck to, if you're familiar with Bloom's taxonomy, they stuck to the lower levels, just recall and understanding. And that's not really what I was going for. I wanted a little more like synthesis and, making connections and things. And that's not what we got out of the questions that were in the workbook. So I didn't feel there was much value in doing that when she can simply, or they can simply narrate to me what they read. So if we don't find value in the reading comprehension questions, then we're left with the writing component. And many of the reviews that I found on Lightning Literature cited the writing as the weakest part of Lightning Literature, and I agree. The writing assignments don't have a whole lot of guidance. There's nothing in the student book, okay, on the writing assignments. And the teacher book is very vague. It's like day 1, brainstorm a topic, okay. Day 2, write your first draft. And that's pretty much all there is. It's just write your first draft and then you do it. And it's like, it almost seems more like a writing prompt that's broken down into steps, but without any sort of structured guidance on moving through those steps or teaching those steps to your kid, which, I mean, to that extent, I can do that myself. If it was a little more structured or maybe written directly to them so they can take that and work with it independently, I could find value in that. But when it's just a writing prompt and then separated out into things you do each day, that's something I can do myself too. I don't know, I guess I just didn't find value in any piece that was enough to continue with the curriculum. The one part I think that I found the most value in was the end of the book discussion. For grade 5, the first book is The Mighty Miss Malone. Great book, by the way. Really enjoyed that one. And the teacher book goes through a very detailed, like, literary analysis that you can kind of walk through with your kiddos. And it goes into setting and characters and description, details, theme, everything. Conflict, some symbolism. All of this is included in the teacher guide. Now, if Hewitt, hi Hewitt, wants to publish book discussion guides that are just that, I would buy all of those because that is done really well. That's kind of what I wanted, but more like as we went through the book, not all saved up for the end. You know what I mean? So that's not enough for me to continue using this curriculum as it's written, though, just for those book discussions at the end. The other thing that kind of threw me was in level 3, the book selections start out really good. So the very first book that they have for level 3 is Sarah Plain and Tall. Now my son is newly fluent. I think Sarah Plain and Tall is like the perfect book for his reading level. He was able to read most of the words fluently and understand what's going on in the story, with maybe just a little help with some of the harder words. Which is perfect. That's exactly what I wanted for him. But then you move from Sarah Plain and Tall to Rickshaw Girl, which looked okay. And then after that is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory by Roald Dahl. It's a great book. It'd be a great read aloud. However, I don't think that is on the same level as Sarah Plain and Tall at all. Like, that's a completely higher reading level. And I bought this intending to have these be books that he reads aloud to me. Or, we take turns if he's tired or whatever. I was not intending to have a whole different set of read alouds to do with him when I already do read alouds with both of my kids as a group. So I was kind of disappointed in that, and I guess I should have seen that when I was looking at the teacher guide online, but I just thought, oh, these are great books and he's going to really enjoy them, and I didn't really think through like the reading level of the books. Yeah, and they end with Tale of Despero. Like, again, it's a great book, one that I would love to read aloud to them, but I don't see him reading that aloud to me, which is what I really wanted him to be able to do for reading, is practice building more fluency. So that was one thing that threw me about level 3. I do think the level 3 grammar stuff in the workbook was actually too easy for him. So my daughter's, it was a little challenging and wordy. And then for my son, it was just too easy because we'd already been doing Michael Clay Thompson. Like, he knows what an adjective is. We don't have to sit there and circle adjective and connect to noun. Now it's good. I mean, it was good practice, but, and if that was your only grammar, I think it would be a great option, but it just wasn't something that he needed. So if we take out the reading, and we take out the grammar, again, we're left with the writing component, the composition part, and it's pretty much the same in level 3 as it is in level 5, just, taken down a notch and slowed down. So I fail to see the value in it for our homeschool and for our family. I do still think that Lightning Literature is an excellent language arts program, especially if it is your only program and if your child's reading level matches nicely with the books that are included in the curriculum. Also, I think if they're natural writers, or if you as the teacher or parent are good at guiding them through the process and you don't really need anything helping you to structure that part of it, then I think Lightning Literature would be a great fit. It just wasn't a good fit for us, along with other things we were using and how we teach and learn. So I think that this experience over the past few weeks has helped me to remember to trust the things that do work well already. For example, Charlotte Mason's style of language arts. That works well for us. It's not the most exciting, but it works well for us, and they actually have made steady improvements during the time that we've stuck to pretty much just that. And they really enjoy Michael Clay Thompson and have learned a ton of grammar from that program alone. Yeah, it's really hard to pass up trying something new that looks, shiny and new and wonderful and organized and planned out nicely. Anyway, it was just a good reminder to myself to trust the things that are working, even if they're slow and steady, and to not rush things like structure and, all the details of composition. That, that will come later. So what I did was I actually sat down with my daughter, because my son's 8, like, he's a little more go with the flow. He's like, okay, whatever, we'll do that. And no matter what we do, it's kind of a struggle for him just because of his attention. So I sat down with my daughter and I had her help me kind of brainstorm the pros and cons of all the different writing we've ever done. It's like a whiteboard. I don't know if you can see that. So we have done IEW in the past. We actually did that for 2 years. We did the student writing intensive and then another year of just me teaching the units. We also have done Writing with Ease, which is basically copywork, dictation, and narration. There's also Build Your Library, which again uses copywork. And then Lightning Literature, which we just tried. And then Michael Clay Thompson. So we sat down and we really talked about what we liked and what we didn't like and how important those different things were, to our decision on what we use. And we decided to stick with Michael Clay Thompson as we've been using it because we really enjoy it and it works really well. And we decided to stick just with Build Your Library's assigned copywork, dictation, and narration. Since I already have the Lightning Literature teacher books, I will definitely still use the book discussion at the end of the book that covers like theme, setting, characters, all of that, because that kind of stuff is what I was hoping to get more of out of Lightning Literature. So there's still good books, there's still good discussions at the end of the books. That is all I will probably use from them, though. Not everything is going to be a great fit, no matter how wonderful it looks and what you think might fit into your homeschool. We gave it 3 full weeks, 1 full book. I thought about maybe pushing through 1 more novel with each of them just to give it an honest effort, but I think this was enough time to see what was not going to work about it. If you made it this far, thank you. I hope it wasn't too long. I just really wanted to sit down and chat about something that I'm bummed about. Leave me a comment down below if you're interested in seeing that flip through of these levels. I would be happy to do that. And let me know also if you have ever tried Lightning Literature, or if you're thinking about trying Lightning Literature, what are your thoughts? And I will see you next time. Thank you so much. Bye.